Hi, this is Chris Fabergé, and I'm going to review today an example of a 95% confidence interval using the Z distribution. Okay. So the problem here says, construct a 95% confidence interval for a sample mean of 70, population standard deviation of 10, and a sample size of 60. So let's write in what we know here. Let's see. So our standard deviation is 10. And our sample mean is 70, and the sample size is 60. So, okay. Now, this is the formula that we're going to be using. Well, first let's write out why we know it's a Z distribution. We know that we're going to use a Z distribution because we have a known sigma, which is a known population standard deviation, and our n is greater or equal to 30. So therefore, we're going to use our Z distribution. Okay. So that's why we would use that. Okay, our formula that we're going to use is this. X bar plus minus Z sigma over the root of n. Plus minus meaning it is a range. Okay. So let's do the calculations. I like to do them separately. We know what our X bar is already. And let's go and look up our Z. So our Z value we're going to get from the Z table. And we're looking for the 95% confidence interval or level in this case. I have an annotated alternative Z table, and what I have written down here, I'm going to zoom in just a little bit, is you'll see it says 95% confidence interval 1.96 Z, and then it has 0.475 plus 0.475, which explains how we get the area under the curve. If we follow this up, it goes to 0.475, and that is 1.96. Okay, so that's 1.96. That's our value that we are going to use. So our Z is 1.96, and then let's calculate this part out here. So our standard deviation is 10, and then our n is 60. So it works out to be 1.2909. Okay. Now we can put it all together. Okay, so what we have is, I'll start off with the low side first. So our X bar is 70. So we have 70 minus, and then we have 1.96, and then times 1.2909, and then 70 plus 1.96, 1.2909. Okay. When we work this all out, we end up with these results. 67.469, and that's on the low side, and then it goes to 72.5301. Okay. So that would be our answer. But let's take a look at how we would do this on the TI 8384 variant calculator. And what we would do is we go to the stats, and then the Z interval. Okay. Stats, Z interval. And so over here with the calculator, I have it on. So we go to stats, and we go over. Here, I'll just go back to square one. Quit. Clear. So we do stat, and then go over to Z interval, which is on tests. You go over to tests, then we go down to Z interval, which is number 7, then we hit enter. And then we go and we hit enter for data, and then we put in our standard deviation, and our standard deviation is 10. And for list, we actually don't want the data one. I'm going to go back up. We go over to stats and then do enter, because we don't want to use the L1 editor. Okay, so now we go down and we have 10 in there. We have our X bar, which is 70. We put 70 in. And then we do in, which is 60. And then the confidence level is 0.95. We already have that in there, and calculate. And this gives us our answer, and it should be the same as what we have before. Thank you.